Functional psychology. Functional psychology or functionalism refers to a psychology philosophy that considers mental life and behavior in terms of active adaptation to the person every moment. As such, it provides the general basis for developing psychological theories not readily testable by controlled experiments and for applied psychology. Psychoanalysis arose in the USA in the 29th century as an alternative to structuralism, while functionalism never became a formal school. It built on structuralism's concerns for the anatomy of the mind and led the greater concern over the functions of the mind, and later the behaviorism. Functionalism was a psychology opposing the prevalent structuralism of psychology of the late 20th century. Edward Titchener, the main structuralist, gave psychology its first definition as a science of the study of mental experience, of consciousness to be studied by trained introspection. William James is considered to be the founder of psychology functionalism, although he would not consider himself as a functionalist. Nor did he truly like the way science divided itself into schools. John Dewey, George Herbert Mead, Herbie A. Carr, and especially James Rowland Angell were the main proponents of functionalism at the University of Chicago. Another group of the Columbia, including notably James McQueen Cattell, Edward Lee Thorndike, and Robert S. Woodward, were also considered functionalists and shared some of the opinion of Chicago's Professor Egon Brunwitz represents a more recent but continental version. The functionalists retained an emphasis in conscious experience. Behaviorists also rejected the method of introspection but criticized functionalism because it was not based on controlled experiments and its theories provide little predictive ability. B. F. Skinner was developing a behaviorist. He did not think that considering how the mind affects behavior was worthwhile, for, for he considered behavior simply as a learned responses to external stimulus. Yet, such behaviorist concepts tend to deny the human capacity for random, imprescindictable, sentient decision-making, further breaking the functionalist concept that human behavior is an activity process driven by the individual. Perhaps a combination for both the functionalist and behaviorist perspective provides scientists with the most empirical value, but even so, it remains psychologically and philosophically difficult to integrate the two concepts without raising further questions about human behavior. For instance, consider the interrelationship between three elements: the human environment, the human autonomic nervous system, or fight or flight muscular responses, and the human somatic nervous system, or voluntary muscle control. The behaviorist perspective explains a mixture of both types of muscular behavior, whereas the functionalist perspective resides mostly in the somatic nervous system. It can be argued that all behavioral origin being within the nervous system, prompting all scientists of human behavior to possess basic psychological understandings, something very well understood by functionalist founder William James.